There you go. That's good. I don't know why I got my earrings on. Oh, let me stop my video. All right. All right. Take this earring off. All right. That sounds good in my microphone, in my headphones. I don't know why. Why do I put on earrings in the morning when I know I gotta put these headphones on? Do we have a song to lead with, or are we doing a song? All right, all right. I love this song. Junior Watanabe. Hello, hello, testing. Let me test this microphone. I can't hear myself. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's that going? Test, test, test. Good morning, good morning. That sounds fantastic. Fantastic. Woo! That's the way I like to start my Thursday morning. You know, Kanye had a rough weekend. That's because when you have affairs of the heart, baby, you never know what kind of buffoonery your love connection is going to make you go into when you realize only when it's too late that you may have just lost the love of your life that you share your past, 10 years? How long were they married? Look that up for me. They were married for a long time. I remember, you know, didn't she have all of her kids with him? Mm-hmm. So it's not like, I mean, he had babies with this woman, was with her, I guess he went crazy with bipolarism or whatever you call it.
So since
while he was with
14.
14 years? No, that's 7 years. Yeah, 7 year itch. I guess during the 7 year itch, Kim started itching. She said, "I feel like I want to date a white boy now." And not a very fairly handsome one either. I'm gonna go straight on, tattooed, grunge looking, not hot at all, not sexy at all. There's something about Pete Davidson where he's got a lot of mouth game.
1 minute.
1 minute down? Okay, so here we go. So I hope you all are going to enjoy the show today. I'm in my Alpha Kappa Alpha swag this morning because I'm feeling very festive today. Yes, I am. Plus, the weather has changed a little bit. I had on all my fur last week. I don't have on any fur today, baby. Only fur is on my feet. But before we go back on, I want to show you all what I did over the weekend. I make little fascinators, which are little bitty hats for girls and women. I mean, you can buy them if you're a boy. But for Valentine's Day, I made a bunch of these to relax over the weekend. See how cute this one? This is already sold. But they're $35. My cupcakes are very realistic. Take a look, take a look, take a look. Yep. And I didn't even post them on social media anywhere. I just texted a couple of pictures to my sister. And this is actually, you know, is this one still for sale? Yeah, this one is not available anymore, but I'm just wearing it anyway.
15 seconds.
And Sherelle, let me see your hat, Sherelle. So Sherelle, my producer, she's been wearing this one all morning. Look how lovely this one is. This one's already sold. Look how cute it is. So this is in time for Valentine's. Anyway, let me put my headphones back on. I'll be displaying more hats for you all to take a look at in case you want to buy one. They're $35. They're really cheap. It didn't take me very much effort to make them. That's just what I do as a hobby. You know. Ready? Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in to It's Debatable with attorney Nyanza L. Moore. Now, I don't know about you, but last week, it was a whole lot going on in the love connection streets. And this show is going to be dedicated to human behavior and what happens when you lose your love. We're going to start off this show talking about Kanye West. And unfortunately, Mr. West has had a very, very, very terrible February thus far. He has seen his woman, who he was married to in 2014, Kim Kardashian, go off and ride off into the sunset in her sexy, cozy Skims outfits, hanging out with Pete Davidson, who now has a prayer candle with Kim's picture on it right there in his Bronx apartment or Staten Island apartment. And now Kanye, who's been parading around with, is it Julia Fox? Is that her name?
Fox.
Now it sounds like a made-up name. Can you find out if that's her government name or just her Foxy? I'm a about town girl name. But Julia Fox, Kanye's been dressing up to make her look like Kim.
That's her real name.
That's her real name. So that's her real Foxy name that she got from her mama. So Miss Fox has come out looking like Kim, trying to. Now Miss Fox is not beautiful like Kim Kardashian. I have to say, Kim Kardashian, whether you love her or hate her or not, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. She's a pretty girl. Pretty girls usually get what they want, but in the instances of love, they usually don't get what they wanted when it comes to love. And unfortunately, Kim Kardashian had a whole bunch of babies with Mr. West out of her body, and some by a surrogate. And then, you know, she gave all the sacrifice to him. She was with him when he had his cray-cray moments, when he was locked up in the institution. She went to visit him when he decided to lock himself up at, Arizona or some country place when he was writing his album that was almost a 20% flop, but 80% was hot. You know, and now he's coming out with the second part of the album But unfortunately, Mr. West has pretended over the last, I should say, since he met Julia Fox on how many? Wyoming. So Mr. West was held up in Wyoming while he was preparing this last album that he dropped. But since December 31st, when he first met Julia Fox, he met her at a New Year's Eve party. They hooked up, and then they've been hooked up and hooked in ever since. And he was love bombing her. And I don't know if you know what love bombing is, but love bombing is what Kanye did to Kim when he first met her. He takes all of this attention, gives it to her. He took everything out of her closet, all the clothes that she had, her complete identity away from her. Then he got all these high-end designers. For Kim, it was Balmain. And that's what made Balmain very popular in the United States. I have a pair of Balmain leggings, ladies and gentlemen. The retail price was $1,475. I bought them on clearance price from Saks Fifth Avenue for $500. I have yet to wear them. I still don't know if I want to just take them back and get my $500 back. But anyway, I digress. Balmain is a French designer that came out here, and basically Kanye put Kim onto couture fashion. Well, he's doing the same thing with Julia Fox. With Julia Fox, he's dressed her up and made her look like Kim. She's wearing all this black goth makeup around her eyes. They're wearing matchy outfits. And all of this is going on while Kim Kardashian is able to live her best life, seemingly, with Pete Davidson walking around the streets in nice, comfortable clothes, no longer having to wear her abs out, skin-tight clothes, wrap-around stuff, the vinyl clothing that makes you sweat, makes you want to, you can probably clear a room when you take off those kind of pants, women out there. But, it seems like he's trying to recreate Julia Fox into Kim, and it's not working. Well, the Kimye saga is over. He has shown how much of a simp, wimp, punk butt he is. And he has decided to put all of his feelings out there emotionally and post on the Twitter and on the gram that he wants his family back together. He's praying to God for Kim and his family to be put back together while he sit up there holding hands with Julia Fox and trying to make her into Kim. Well, he posted a family picture begging Kim to come back. And at the same time that he's posting this, obviously he knew that Kim was doing a live interview or stream or doing an interview with Vogue magazine. Do you all remember the shade that Vogue magazine played to Kim for the last 12 years when Anna Wintour, who is the executive editor of Vogue USA, she would not let the Kardashians, she would not give them tickets to the Met Gala. And if you don't know anything about the Met Gala, it's the Metropolitan Museum of Art up in New York City, and they have a gala every year where they had it once a year where they raise a lot of money. That's like the seats are like $100,000 per seat. So Anna Wintour is a fashion thing with Vogue magazine, and she picks the people who get to go. She decides whether or not you are the A-list actor or singer, entertainer, whatever you are. If you get an invitation, you cannot buy your way into the Met Gala because there's a whole lot of bazillionaires and gazillionaires and quadrillionaires out there in the world. But Kim Kardashian and the Kardashian clan could not get an invitation. And also, Kim's mother tried to get her on the cover of Vogue magazine for several years when she realized Kim had over like 50 million followers. Well, when she married Kanye, it gave her the A-list status that she needed to get on the cover of Vogue. So she and Kanye made a call to Anna Wintour. Anna Wintour was like, I need you on the cover. Let me have the first cover. And then, just so you'll know, ladies and gentlemen, that's when I canceled my Vogue subscription. I realized that it was no longer about who we should be seeing on the cover of Vogue, which is like a coveted thing to have. And when I saw that they had Kim and Kanye on there with her wedding dress on and him in his suit behind her, everybody remembers that picture. Well, now she gets invited to the Met Gala, her and her entire clan of family people and the Kardashian harem. So now that they've gotten everything they wanted, they got on Vogue, they got invitations to the Met Gala, now everybody's walking up there. Now Kanye is not in the picture anymore. Now Kanye gave her her A-list celebrity card. Now she doesn't need him anymore. Now she's going to bring Pete Davidson up to the A-list, and it looks like she's elevating Pete's game. Because I'm sure if things don't work out, because I really do believe that Pete Davidson is a jump off. I know some of you all out there will disagree with me, saying that, oh, this is really, really love. It's not really, really love. It is the jump off relationship that Kim needed to be in to take Kanye's stank off of her. So as a person who's been engaged 5 times and married twice, I think I kind of know what this kind of looks like. Whenever you're trying to jump from one relationship to the next, if you haven't had a sexual intercourse or relationship with the next person yet, then you still kind of are holding on to that last person. Until you get another dude to get the stink off of you from the last dude, you're still kind of with the other person. I'm just saying, you have to have a DNA change in your vagina. Ladies and gentlemen, if your kids are in the room, turn the volume way down. If you have virgin ears, don't listen to this. But just in case you know about what it looks like to go from one relationship to the next or one ring to the next, then I'm probably talking to you. Until you have actually come out in public with that new person, until you have actually had sexual intercourse with, I'm not talking to you virgins out there. You virgins out there, stay virginized. But for those of you who need to get the man stink off of you or the woman stink off of you or that impression of that person off of you, you got to jump out there with somebody else. You got to have somebody else in your boudoir. So that looks like what Kim is doing with Pete Davidson. It's not like he's some royal catch, because he's not. You don't do that with the guy that you actually think that you want to marry the next time. Okay, some people jump backwards and go back to their old ex to go and say, okay, well, I'm not really ready to jump out there into the new territory, but I'll go ahead and have some dilly-dalliances. One of my exes from Texas, so they do that. Or if they say, I just want to make sure that this new guy understands that you're not the guy, which is what Kanye is doing to Julia Fox. He's saying, Julia, I've already had a jump off. Remember that model that he was taking around town and flying all around in his private jet and flying all over to Europe and stuff like that? They were like together for 2 weeks on Instagram. He made an Instagram official for like 10 minutes. And then we never heard from her again. Then he got the Kim Kardashian lookalike, which is this girl, Julia Fox, who's just a podcast host, who's Your Daddy podcast, the girl who made her name from being whoring. Her podcast is based on all of her slut shaming that she's been doing to herself and how many people that she slept with. So that's made her famous. And so, Kanye likes girls that's got a little bit of tracks on them. So that's what Kanye is doing with Julia Fox. That's what Kim is doing with Pete Davidson. They're both in the jump off pattern. So right now, we're seeing what it looks like when adults that have been married, that have a gazillion children, who are both ultra rich, go with losers. Okay, I'm not saying Pete Davidson's a total loser, but he kind of is. I'm not saying Julia Fox is a total loser, but she kind of is. You don't go from, you don't F down. For those of you who don't know what I mean, I don't curse on my show, so you have to fill in the blank. It's fornication under carnal knowledge. That's exactly where the word F-U-C-K came from. Fornication under carnal knowledge. It's a psychological term that was used way back hundreds of years ago. So it basically is the acronym for fornication under carnal knowledge. You know that you're having sex. So for fornication under carnal knowledge, you don't F down. You always F up. And that means in money terms, since like I said, I've been engaged 5 times and married twice. You don't go down. You always have to elevate whatever your status is. It can be your social status if you just want to be in a better friend group and you think that you're surrounded by a bunch of losers and your man or your woman can't get you into the top parties or can't get you invited to the Met Gala. See, Kim Kardashian, she went from, I don't even know, she was with that football player that she was married to for like 35 seconds. And then, she was able to be like have the wedding, and then she always wanted, and then she divorced him after 2 weeks and said, somebody better came along. I don't want to go to the NFL Players Association Gala. Kim said, that's not how, the NFL is not going to get me on the cover of Vogue. But since one of my homegirls used to date Kanye West and he's freed up now, I think I'll be able to date him because that'll get me into the Grammys because I can't sing or dance. But that may be it. Since Kanye's best friends with Jay-Z, who's married to Beyonce, then maybe I'll be able to get into the Met Gala, get on the cover of Vogue, hang out with Beyonce at the concerts and go ahead and have her be my godmother to my children. Well, Jay-Z wasn't no fool. And neither was Beyonce. Beyonce. My favorite black girl, magic girl. Anyway, Beyonce was like, no, we're not having that. Because Beyonce realized when Kanye got with Kim, that Kim was basically trying to F up, to step her game up. So she did. She stepped her game up in a major way. What did it do? Beyonce, this is what I'm saying. If I was Beyonce and I knew what their conversation was like with Jay-Z, this is what happened with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Now, they had just dropped that album, Watch the Throne, that I saw the concert in Houston, front row, center stage. Yes, and it was all of that in a bag of chips. I thought that was the best friendship made in heaven. That was a bromance that was going to last into perpetuity like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Anyway, it was not to be. Whenever he starts dating Kim, I guess the Kardashian clan was like, we came up. Because not only do we get Kanye, but we also get Beyonce and Jay-Z. Are you kidding me? Black royalty in the music industry. Are you kidding me? What? And maybe Beyonce will tell me where she gets her weave from, because Kim wears a head full of weave. Yeah. Her weaver stylist is right up there in Oakland, and they all get sew-ins, baby. They get old school tracks like Black Girls. So any of you guys out there talking about, I don't want a woman with weave, well, the Kardashians wear some of the best hair in the business. Anyway, I digress again. So Kanye thought that bringing his love life to his best friendship with Beyonce and Jay-Z was going to help his wife, soon-to-be wife, be put on. He was like, no, I'm not just effing her. I'm going to marry this girl. I need her. She's wonderful. And Beyonce and Jay-Z were probably like, look here, bro. We don't care about you and your trashy thought girl who's just marrying you for an opportunity. And I really believe that Jay-Z and Beyonce had the talk. You know, they had a come to Jesus meeting. They said, yeah, you need to come to Jesus because this girl is not good for you. She's going to drive you crazy like they drive all black men crazy. And yes, she drove him crazy. You're going to end up being a crackhead. And yes, he ended up being a crackhead. I'm not saying it was crack with some other stuff. I'm sure he talks about it in all of his albums. So it's kind of like they're going to make you look like a simp and a whack dude. They're going to bring down your stock, which is what they did. You're not going to be able to rap the same. You're not going to be able to act the same. She's going to take over your whole life, which is exactly what she did. And then what did he do? Well, when Jay-Z broke up best friendship bromance with Kanye, that's when Kanye decided to hire the Kardashian mama, what's her name, Kris Jenner, to be his agent as well as his manager. She's the one who got him put onto the New York fashion scene. So you see, it was kind of like I rub my back while you have my daughter on her back. And she's already known for doing that, so that means she made a come up. I'm not mad at Kim. I'm not mad at the Kardashian hustle at all because you know what? It works. If you are a woman out there that has been trying to get your hustle on and you have no talent, you have no education, you have no transferable skills that would get you a job anywhere, and all you can do is take selfies all day and get butt implants and get lip implants and just make yourself look like you're 12 years old for the rest of your life. You need a sufficient come up. You better aim high, but you have to stair step your way. You have to do like the Kardashians. They start low with these low level dudes, and then they go higher and higher and higher and higher. They F up, not down. So when you see people like Kanye and Kim dating down, dating these scrubs, dating these no-namers, dating people that they know have the thirst, who need somebody to put them on, well, they're dating those people because they want to be able to say, haha, I can be with anybody. I can just be with somebody in the general population. I don't have to be VIP forever. So that's what's happening to Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is moving from Staten Island. He's finally moving out of there. Staten Island was fine for him until Kim Kardashian was like, hold on, baby. I don't like to come to the island of Staten. Okay? I'm a Manhattan type of chick. So what is he doing? He's moving his residence from Staten Island to, he says Brooklyn or the Bronx or Manhattan. Anything is better than Staten Island. No shade to Staten Island, but I've been out there a few times. If I lived there, I would want to move too. Anyway, and then you see Julia Fox, who now she comes out after seeing the Twitter and the Instagram where Kim is basically begging Kim Kardashian to bring our family back together. He's saying, God, please bring our family back together, and shares snaps of his estranged wife, Kim Kardashian, and their kids after a bitter war they're having on social media where Kim is telling the Vogue interviewer, well, you know what? I'm just trying to parent the best way that I can. But parenting the best way that you can, obviously, to Kim Kardashian, it means letting your daughter have her own social media account. Yes, you know, like mother, like daughter, like grandmother, like daughter. And all she knows how to do is turn her daughter into hoes. I mean, I'm not saying whore in the traditional sense of the word, but you know, media hoes. They only know how to make money off the media. They only know how to showcase their life and the fakeness that it is in the media. So she's automatically got her oldest daughter. Did she get her an Instagram or Twitter?
TikTok.
She got her a TikTok account. So now she can exploit her daughter. So her daughter now has to start feeling like that's what she has to always be looking the best, acting in fakery, you know. And interestingly enough, it seems like things are backfiring because now that Khloe is going through her drama, you know, she suffered her drama with her baby daddy. Were they ever married? Khloe and the guy that played basketball who fought, yeah, not Lamar, the other guy. You know, they love the basketball players, honey. Anyway, Khloe's baby daddy had a baby with a girl out there. Well, you know, that was a baby daddy. She's just a baby mama. So he had a baby after he said that he didn't have any dilly-dalliances with this woman. They had a full-on child. So Scott Disick, former brother-in-law, decides to post on the Twitter about how sexy Khloe is and how fine she is. Now, let me just tell you something. That's all kinds of inappropriate, no matter which kind of way you look at it. And so if you have a sister-in-law, that might be fine. Now, I would never expect my brother-in-law to say how fine I am on Instagram or social media. He might think it because it's true. My husband may think that my sister's fine because it's true. I know she's fine. She got a bigger booty than Kim Kardashian. It's real. And she's 5'5" with brown eyes. Anyway, she's educated. You know, so she's all kinds of pretty. My husband, I know she's fine. Everybody that sees it should know she's fine, but you don't need to be posting it on social media. If something like that were posted about me by my sister's husband, I'd be like, okay, now we need to reevaluate your situation because I'm looking at you all kind of crazy. Because guess what? Khloe and Courtney look nothing alike. Courtney looks like OJ's daughter. She's tall. She's got a batted body until she started losing all this weight. Now she looks like Skeletor. I don't know what's going on with her. She feels like, I think that she's trying to change her face and change her body so she doesn't look as OJ as she is. Because we all know that Kris Jenner was screwing around with OJ. Come on now. He was the biggest penis in the room. And he was married to her best friend, Nicole Brown Simpson. And it seems like, you know, if God paid Kris Jenner back for screwing OJ behind Nicole Brown Simpson's back by turning her husband into a woman, and not a very attractive woman, at 65, almost 70 years old, then you have to believe that possibly one of those daughters belongs to OJ. And guess what? Khloe's the only one with naturally curly hair. She's the only one that ended up being very tall like OJ. All the other Kardashians look like little strumpets. They look like little bitty Tweedledee and Tweedledums. They're like, what, 5'5", 5'4" on the average. And you got the statuesque Khloe looking like a stallion, looking like her daddy, OJ. You know how that goes. She got curly hair like she's half black. And what she say, she's the one who made the comment, I've never had any penis inside of me that wasn't black, so I wouldn't even know what it feels like. Come on, black girl, you better talk that talk. Anyway, Scott Disick is all kinds of inappropriate. You know, he's got his own, I should call him Lord Disick because he is a lord. I'm Mr. Brett himself. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go past them and talk about a little bit about Nelly. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, if you watched what happened to Nelly over the weekend, if you follow him on Instagram, which I don't, I really felt like Nelly was in his heyday when he was dating the cute little girl that sang the song with all the remixes. What's her name? Anyway, she just had a baby by a rapper. I thought that she could have gotten married a long time ago. Ashanti. Ashanti was such a cute girl. She's still a cute girl, but she's gotten older now. She let too many of those rappers run through her. Ashanti still has a cute car, but Nelly apologized over the weekend for having an oral sex video that was posted to his Instagram. Yes. While the rapper's face was not visible, Page Six reported that a girl was, first of all, why are you holding okay, these girls out, thoughts out there if you're listening to me. Women and men, if you have your children in the room, please turn the volume down so they can hear it. Just go ahead and put on your headphones. Why are these men out there, number one, getting, is it called fellatio? It's fellatio if you're a man. It's cunnilingus if you're a woman. I'm trying to use the proper term so we don't have any like young kids that are just walking through the room knowing what I'm talking about. Why are you getting this done to you with a camera phone recording the woman? And why, women, are you allowing yourself to be recorded? I know that you're doing the job for a superstar, entertainer, celebrity, rapper, whatever the F. But I have to say, there's a new kind of low self-esteem for any woman that would be on her knees and let a man record her doing a sex act. I don't care what the act is. It could just be regular, missionary, whatever it is. You know, my husband and I, we're married of 100 years and we've never had a video anywhere any type of anything. Nobody on the face of the earth or in Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, or Mars has me on video doing anything. They couldn't, when I was on a reality show in Chicago, they have 6 women picked to live in a house. They could barely give me kiss Eric with a peck on his cheek. Because that's not how I roll. And I believe any woman who's worth her weight in gold, which is what she's supposed to be, any chaste woman is not interested in having some celebrity record her doing a sex act. And you don't need to just try to figure out how you can sell it. You're not going to become a Kardashian. You're just going to become a thought on somebody's videotape. Look at what happened to the little girl that let herself be recorded with R. Kelly. I mean, she's so dumb. She was a minor when she let that happen. And her parents were so jaded by the celebrity status of R. Kelly, they took a payout when they knew that was their 14-year-old daughter getting peed on by R. Kelly, who is now serving almost a life sentence in prison for that very same sex act. Yes, and he flew her, I believe, to Paris, France during the trial to make sure she could not come back and testify. And the girl's auntie or godmother, whoever it was, that came out in the R. Kelly movie in the documentary and said, that was my niece who was on there, and I'm the one who told her to her parents, and I'm the one who told her to the feds. The parents got mad at the auntie godmother. I don't know if she's a godmother, auntie. That's what I'm calling her, auntie godmother. They got mad at her for putting it out there when they knew good and well that they should have went over with they should have went out with a pump shotgun to R. Kelly's house to blow his head off. I don't know. If you're a daddy out there that's making money off your daughter on her knees getting peed on by a celebrity just so that you can be put on, so that you can be leveled up, or so you can increase your social standing in your finances or in your pocketbook or whatever it is, then you need to be hung. Your kids need to be taken away from you by CPS, and actually you need to be outed. So, you know, because I already knew my daddy before he went into the ground, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. Anybody out there that dated me, any of my 5 ex-fiancés, my ex-husband or my now husband, if Ernest Davis had heard of anything any dude was doing to me, I was too afraid to be like, look, you were going to get your head blown off on my daddy. You will be dead, and my daddy will be in prison for the rest of his life. Because that's just what daddies do. I mean, that's what I thought daddies did. I mean, is it just old school daddies did that? For you daddies out there, if you'd seen your daughter getting urinated on by R. Kelly, how would you have responded? Would you be like, just give me a check, sir? Just give me a check. I'll take my daughter out of town. I don't want to put you in prison. I love your records. Or would you have been out there like, I've made the news. Get my bond money ready. Daughter, I'm going to catch a case with this one. I'll be the one known as the one who put R. Kelly in the ground. I'll be in prison for life, but you better know daddy got your back. That's the kind of daddy that you want. All y'all dudes running around there having kids, you're not paying child support. Maybe it's y'all, but these were made. This is a married couple in this R. Kelly situation. But I'm going to go on from that because, you know, it's unfortunate that Nelly had a girl giving him oral sex, and that was mysteriously leaked to his Instagram. And honestly, some people came after Nelly saying, oh, I know your bag is decreased because of that, because you shouldn't put that out there. Nelly, I mean, okay. I'm going to give 10% of credit to Nelly. I don't post to my Instagram. My social media person, Sherelle Riley, posts to my Instagram and my Facebook. I have to ask her what my Instagram passcode is. And my Facebook password. And my Twitter passwords. I don't even know them. I don't play on social media. I don't really like social media. I use it as a means to publicize my show. I don't tell about everything going on in my private life. I don't think that it's anybody's business. People that are friends with me in my close relationship, they need to know what's going on in my life. But if you don't know my phone number, why do I need to tell you if I went to the doctor? Why do I need to tell you what I'm eating on Thursday afternoon? I'm just saying. Everybody keeps on, posting their entire lives on social media, like people out there in Facebook land or people in Instagram land are your friends. They're not. You know if I'm your friend because I probably have inboxed you or direct message you or I tag you on some of my posts. But anyway, Nelly says that he didn't even know that post was up there. It's a 1-minute video. That's a long time to be on your knees on videotape for you not to know that you're being video recorded. Little girl, whoever you are, Nelly's face was blacked out, but yours wasn't. Okay? Think about that, you girls out there. But I think guys are slicker now. Some girls, they want to be made famous like that. They look at Kim Kardashian, who was able to have a sex tape, which she wasn't even really doing it very well. And she became famous for being a hoe. And now she's a would-be billionaire, whatever. If you think her life is great, more power to you. But I don't really think her life is that great. I don't think that it's great when you have a whole bunch of babies by a man you can't keep your marriage together, even if you got your own money. I mean, I just don't think it's that great. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut to a commercial real quick. We're going to talk about some more love stuff. And then we're going to talk about my favorite Death Row Records recording artist, Snoop Dogg, who now owns Death Row Records. Come on, Death Row is a label that paid me. Come on now, we're going to hear some Snoop Dogg. Are we going to hear some Snoop Dogg, Sherelle? We're going to go ahead and hear some Snoop Dogg. Congratulations to Snoop Dogg for acquiring the company, made famous by being murderous. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about, Snoop Dogg performing at the Super Bowl and this gold digger accusing him of sexual assault. Yeah, she alleges that he put his penis in her mouth unwillingly. Well, you know what? She didn't bite it off. So I'll talk about that when we come back from the break. Yeah, that's the song I wanted you to play. I hope you guys are liking the show today. It's all about love. It's all about passion. And I'm trying to give you all some sexual education. Fornication under carnal knowledge is the proper name for FUCK. It just became a dirty word when people started using it in a derogatory manner. It was used by psychologists when they were trying to diagnose people as having sex addiction. And when you think about it, Socrates used the phrase, all of them used the phrases. I'm trying to educate you. But for the women out there with the low self-esteem issues, if you got daddy issues, more than likely you're on somebody's video. There were some girls with daddy issues at Texas A&M University. Let me just tell you, I went to A&M back in the 90s, the early 90s, honey. And the athletic dorm was called Kane Hall. Kane, I think it's C-A-I-N. I don't know how to spell it. But Kane Hall was where all the athletes, whether you were football, basketball, track, all the athletes lived in Kane Hall. I was a school tutor. And so I used to tutor the football players in Kane Hall, in the study hall. There were girls in my freshman and sophomore, I was a freshman tutor to juniors and seniors in college because I placed out of freshman, sophomore English, and so my freshman year of English, I was in the junior level English classes. You can see why. I'm a bit of a wordsmith. So I would be a freshman in Kane Hall with these guys in the Wrecking Crew, which is the defense team at Texas A&M, that were the future millionaires. Everybody knew that the guys that were in the Wrecking Crew were going to be multimillionaires. They were going to all go in the first round or second round of the draft. And it was the years of Quentin Coriat, Greg Hill, all those famous, even Antonio Armstrong, who was Antonio Shorter when he was allegedly murdered by his son. And, you know, all of them, I used to be in Kane Hall all the time tutoring. And I would see these thoughts that went to Texas A&M with me, these freshman girls and these sophomore girls when I became a sophomore, laying up in Kane Hall. And I would be walking out there with my backpack, and I remember the football players would be like, hey, Nyanza. You see so-and-so over there? She lives in Kane Hall. I was like, what do you mean? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, she's always in here. And then one day, I was leaving there. I went there after like a 9 and 8 a.m. class, so I had to go tutor somebody at like 9:30. I was in there, and it was the walk of shame like you had never seen before. It was like 5 girls that I knew walking out of Kane Hall in the same thing that they had on the day before. Like clearly the walk of shame leaving there. And I was going to the tutor hall, and I was like, golly, they sure did come up here early. And my athlete was like, no, they didn't come here early. They stayed here all night. I said, no way. Like, oh yeah, these are the Kane Hall hoes. That's what we call them. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here's where I learned my lesson on how not to be when you grow up as a woman. One of them had a video. You know, was it back in the day with the camcorders, that like little handheld camcorder things, like had, you know how they used to have like the little camera where it looked like this, about the handheld. And he was showing the video footage
1 minute
of the Kane Hall hoe that was on video in a sex act with one of the football players. And they were laughing at the video, running up and down the hall. These are the guys that were like, they all went into the NFL. We're talking about the Kane Hall hoes. And my guy that I was tutoring at the time, it was Quentin Coriat. I don't know if you guys know who that is. But Quentin Coriat said, Nyanza, this is what happens to the girls that come up here. We're all going to be in the NFL one day. And we all know that they only want us because we're going to be in the league. You know, I know. He said, I know I'm going to the league. I said, I know you are, Quentin. I said, just said you made that big old hit. And then he said, yeah, but they all are on video. He said, all we do is stack up videos.
What song are you ready?
Play another song. So, because I'm trying to do this lecture off camera.
Okay.
So, the interesting thing is, he said, in almost all of the dorm rooms of the star athletes at Texas A&M at that time in the early 90s, they all had hidden camcorders videotaping the women that they were having sex with and all the sex acts. And they're passing the videos around to everybody. So I basically learned at 19 years old what men do. Whether they like you, whether they think you're their girlfriend, if you are in Kane Hall whoring as a freshman, sophomore, junior, I don't care what you were there. I don't care if you had a boyfriend. I don't care if you were at Kane Hall hoe that was running your butt down to Kane Hall at Texas A&M University in the 90s. You were on video having sex or on video getting a BJ. You were doing something on video. And more than likely, I know who you are because I know your names. Some of you out here are my haters. Oh, yes. You're on video, girl. Let me tell you something. I feel like God got you back because I was like, whoo! Even to this day, one of the haters of mine, she's on video from the 90s giving a blowjob. Okay? I use the inappropriate term. Giving a blowjob at Kane Hall in the 90s. You know who you are, girl. Yeah? You know who you are. Actually, it's a few of them. And you know what? They were all haters. I think that, you know, and I don't really blame them for hating on me because I'm just hateable. Because the guys that I tutored all wanted to marry me. And you know how life deals you a deck of cards. When you don't put out, you get the ring. It's happened all my life. I never put out. I was always that close your legs girl. And I was like, after that experience with all those athletes and seeing how they really are, I ended up marrying a Dallas Cowboy round one. Never was on video, and I have to put out. I'm just trying to give y'all a lesson. You don't have to be on your knees. You don't have to be on somebody's video. You don't have to be a thought. You don't have to run your butt down to the athletic dorm at these colleges. Women out there, teach your daughters what not to do when they go to college. Because these women out there on these videos that I think I didn't want it. They were like, you want to see? I was like, I don't want to see. But I kind of should have looked at it myself. But they would just tell me all the names. But, you know, you don't have to do that to get a husband. You don't have to do that to marry a professional athlete, entertainer. If a guy likes you, he likes you. He likes you because you don't put out. He doesn't like you because you do. You're never going to be able to compete with prostitutes, strippers, or sluts for having the best sex. So no, just keep it all a mystery. I was always mysterious. Men never knew if I was good in bed or bad in bed. I wasn't going to tell them I sucked. I was not the best. I was like, I didn't start having sex till I was in college. I mean, come on. And then every dude I dated wanted to marry me. That's why I had 5 fiancés. So you don't put out because you cannot compete with the sluts out there. You're never going to be able to compete with Kim Kardashian because I'm sure that since Ray J, her game has gone up. Okay? So all these women out there, if you're on your back trying to get these men, if you're a young girl in college that feels like you need to be on the pole or you need to be on the gram or you need to be straight flexing showing how sexy you are, that's the opposite of what you need to do. You need to hold your legs closed, hold the hole and get the ring. Okay? That's how you get the ring, by not putting out. I got a Dallas Cowboy that married me. He told me day one, I'm going to marry you. And he did. And I hadn't even put out. I was like, well, I can't compete. My mom and daddy said, you're not going to be able to compete with the whores. Don't even try it. So my life has been great. Come on now, every day that I dated want to marry me. I'm the marrying kind. I'm not on anybody's video. So I just want to make sure y'all understand that my haters out there, y'all girls, y'all are on the videos. Those videos are still running around. One of the girls ended up somewhere I was, and one of the guys there was like, hey, what's she doing hanging around with you? Don't you know she's on video from Kane Hall from the 90s? I said, what? Act like I didn't know. I already knew she was on video. But, you know, I try to act like I didn't know. But he knew. He remembered. This guy remembered from 10 years before that girl was in Kane Hall on a video.
You ready?
In a sex act. And was a member of Aggie Sisters for Christ. Dropped out of school because she got pregnant. You know how they do. Holes in the covers. Okay, we're back. Happy Thursday again. So now we're going to talk about my favorite slender rapper, Snoop Dogg. Congratulations. Can you hear this hand clap? Congratulations to Snoop Dogg. He was the famous rapper, Snoop Dogg entrepreneur who purchased Death Row Records from the brand from MNRK Music Group, which is controlled by private equity funds firm Blackstone. They announced it on Wednesday, which was yesterday. They didn't disclose the terms of the transaction, but Variety Magazine, which is where I got the story, said that this is the acquisition of the Death Row brand is the first part of the transaction that is expected to see him gain. Also acquiring the music label's rights, his own and unspecified other artists. Let me tell you something. This comes just days after we hear that Snoop Dogg will be performing at the Super Bowl along with Dr. Dre, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar. This is how you're supposed to come back. Now, we know white America's upset with the NFL because they said that the NFL is playing too much to black people. Well, they deserve to because all those dudes on the football field, most of them are black. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars off the black athletes. I mean, they got a couple of white quarterbacks that, you know, they let the white boy be the quarterback all the time. They act like black men can't throw the ball and do all the kind of math and do all the kind of stuff and remember plays. But if these billionaire owners are making billions of dollars, they should have a blackout for the Super Bowl. It should be Mary J. Blige, y'all. You know, y'all, she's my favorite artist when it comes to women. But, you know, we have Dr. Dre's, The Chronic, Snoop Dogg's, Doggy Style, Tupac's All Eyes on Me. That was all marred by violence from the controversial Death Row label. But, you know, Suge Knight is the nemesis of Death Row of the Death Row label. But congratulations. But Snoop Dogg, in other news, you guys, why is Snoop Dogg in the news for sexual assault? Yes, allegedly. Now, you know, Snoop Dogg is never one to miss words. He's a wordsmith. I saw him in concert when he came to Houston. Every time he's in concert, I try to go see him. Snoop Dogg, it's alleged that an onstage dancer, that's number one. She was a dancer. A dancer for Snoop Dogg and Bishop Don Magic Juan allegedly assaulted this onstage dancer in 2013. Yesterday, she filed a lawsuit under Jane Doe that both men assaulted her after she accepted a ride home from Bishop Don Juan, whose real government name is, you know, I like to use government name, is Donald Campbell, following Snoop's concert at Heat Ultra Lounge in Anaheim, California in May. That's what Rolling Stone reported. You know, and then here's what she told her, TMZ found out. TMZ said the accuser claimed in her suit that she fell asleep in the car and realized when she woke up that she was taken to Don Juan's house and not her own. Then she says, about 4 a.m., she woke up to find that Don Juan had removed his penis from his pants and was repeatedly shoving it into her mouth. Now, that's not a good way to wake up. Anyway, she also said that later, now here's what I find interesting. After he was shoving his penis into her mouth, allegedly, I don't see any response that she tried to bite it off. Or that she she pulled out and ran away. Or that she grabbed her cell phone. In 2013, they had cell phones. Didn't they? Mm-hmm. They had camera phones too. 911 can find you anywhere. Even if you're in the desert. If you got a signal, they'll find you. So she didn't do those things that you would think would, if you woke up with a penis, with a foreign penis in your mouth. Here's the problem. She said that he removed his penis from his pants. Was she awake to see that? Now, I'm not trying to say that she's a liar. I'm just a lawyer first and a woman second. I know that sounds weird, but every time I read these lawsuits that come like 12 years later from a dancer at the concert who asked for a ride home, they ended up at the performer's house, and she said he removed his penis, and then she woke up to it being shoved in her mouth. I wanted to know what her reaction was. Why doesn't anybody ever use their teeth that God gave them? Rip it off. Why doesn't Lorena Bobbitt's story? Remember, Lorena Bobbitt cut off her husband's penis for having an affair. And then she drove around and threw it out the window. They did reattach it, but it was kind of never the same. Anyway, but then she says the woman claimed that Don Juan then told her to join Snoop in his recording studio, where Snoop, whose government name is Calvin Broadus, was filming this show, Snoop Dogg Double G's News Network. Allegedly, Don Juan told the woman that Snoop wanted her to be his weather girl, so she proceeded in hopes, this is in quotes, in hopes of advancing her career. That's what she told Rolling Stone. I guess she had already done the surprise fellatio on Bishop Don Juan. And after she was unsurprised, after becoming no longer a mystery about what she was there for, she was convinced to help her career out by doing the same thing to Snoop. She alleges that Snoop allegedly walked in unexpectedly, standing with his crotch in her face while she was defecating on the toilet. Okay. Then he forced her, allegedly, he closed the door and forced her to perform oral sex on him. After a few minutes, defendant Snoop Dogg withdrew his penis from plaintiff's mouth, visibly unsatisfied with plaintiff's reluctance and disgust of being forced to engage in oral sex. The woman claimed Snoop, quote, proceeded to masturbate and ejaculated on her upper chest and lower neck, end quote, before allegedly telling her, quote, I'll get you something to clean up with. She said she was left, quote, humiliated, terrified, and panicked. Okay, Bishop Don Juan is now 71. Snoop Dogg is 50. And unfortunately, you know, she's asking for $10 million. That's what she asked them for, $10 million. And then they rejected that. And then she said that she was going to threaten to put it out there. And unfortunately, Snoop was like, no, I don't care. And posted an image to his Instagram labeling the woman as a gold digger. And she was anonymous. Here's the problem I have with this kind of story. I don't know if she's upset because she didn't become the weather girl for Snoop. I'm not sure if she just, I don't know. But if somebody's having a moment on the commode and an A-list celebrity walks in and you don't immediately say, get the F out or something to that effect, then I don't really understand why you're mad. I don't understand. I mean, I know she might be mad now because she realizes, Snoop never really put her on as the weather girl. She was a dancer. Did she say that she quit her job? I don't know what part 2 of this story sounds like, but it sounds very, very sketchy to me. Asking for $10 million. People don't ask for $10 million for rape. People don't ask, $10 million is a lot of money for a 2013 potential blowjob that she gave to Bishop Don Juan, who is now 71. Is Bishop Don Juan the pimp that walked around with the green chalice in the Cadillac? That might be who that is. I'm not sure if any of you out there in social media land can confirm that, but I think that he's like known for being one of the biggest pimps in the industry of all time. And he was on a documentary about pimping.
Yes, sir.
That's him. Okay, Bishop Don Juan is a famous pimp. And Bishop Don Juan is the one that has a custom green suit. He wears lots of gold chains. He's 71 now, but he probably still wears a lot. But I remember watching over and over and over and over his documentaries. I thought he was great. He's the one who said it only took one look to get a bitch hooked. Excuse the language, but it's not a curse word. It's a female dog. But he said that. So if you have Bishop Don Juan, who's known for being the pimp of all pimps in the history of pimpation, who is more famous than the guy that runs the Bunny Ranch out there in Las Vegas, on the outskirts of Las Vegas, the white guy who gets to pimp legally. And I guess it's Reno, Nevada, or Carlson City, wherever it is. Bishop Don Juan was a pimp. So if the pimp comes into your room and you're a dancer, and all of a sudden you say he took his penis out of his pants and he forced it into your mouth over and over and over and over, and then he tells you to go into Snoop Dogg's studio and give him a BJ, then more than likely you knew good and well that whatever pay you already received, that maybe Bishop Don Juan was really your pimp. And maybe Bishop Don Juan, he only felt comfortable doing that to you because I don't believe that Bishop would be the kind of guy that needs to take it from anybody. He had a harem of whores, babies. Harem of women that would do anything. If you don't believe me, the women would be on the street corner in 20-degree weather in stilettos with hardly any coats on and be out there for like 6 hours. He'd be like, where's my money? And they'd be like, here you go, Bishop. And so if he could get women to do that, he doesn't really need to do Mr. Rapey. Not Mr. Mouth Rapey anyway. I just really don't see that. And I think that this is a money grab. And I have to agree. I hope this is a money grab from this woman and this didn't actually, girl, I believe it might have happened to you. But it was voluntary. I do believe it was voluntary. I think you volunteered your mouth services. And that's the only reason why Snoop Dogg will walk into the toilet where you were allegedly on the toilet doing number 2. And then he would stick his penis in your mouth. Number 1, you have to be a nasty kind of woman to have even had the door unlocked while you were doing that. Hello, you knew somebody's gonna come in there. Hello, you knew what you were in for, girl. And why didn't you call the police? What I want to know is, did you keep performing? Were you still living in Anaheim, or were you going to keep on performing at the shows for Bishop Don Juan just because you want to be put on as a celebrity? Because remember Britney Spears' dancer, Kevin Federline, became her baby daddy by screwing her on the outtakes. Okay, y'all don't remember that? Well, Kevin Federline became the husband of Britney Spears, getting child support for life. He picked up another 75 pounds on his belly, but he became from a dancer to a house husband. Who else was a dancer? J-Lo. J-Lo was a dancer, baby. She went from J-Lo to Ben Affleck. Come on now. She was a dancer. Dancers, who else was a dancer? Paula Abdul. She was a Lakers girl. She was a dancer. She went from Paula Abdul to Paula Abdul. You know what I'm talking about. Now, if you're a dancer and you happen to be like, well, look, I'm a dancer too, and dancers are making a come up. I want to be with Puff Daddy. And back in those days, 2013, everybody already saw that you could make it being a dancer. You could end up marrying one of the celebrities that you're dancing for. But everybody knows that Snoop Dogg was dating his wife since they were in high school. So she ain't going nowhere. She's okay with all of his antics. She's okay with every last one of those dollars that he's making. She's okay with him being high all day, every day. And I'm okay with it too. If she likes it, I love it. You can't knock their hustle. She got about 17 kids from him. That's just like who else had a bunch of babies? Shaquille O'Neal's wife, Shawnee O'Neal, she had like a bunch of babies from him. And then she cheated, I think. Or was trying to steal money off the top. She was skimming money from Shaq. But Shaq wasn't always faithful, I'm sure. Shaq tried to hit on me. He's a Houston guy. But anyway, I digress. Anywhere you go, honey, the men are always popping. They always want something that they can't have. So if you're a dancer, it looks like if you haven't filed your lawsuit or if you have not called the police after the sex act, more than likely, you're not going to get that money you're trying to extort from these entertainers. They're not paying you. They're all going to court now. I don't know what else to tell you. You're not going to get a check. They're going to be keeping all of their millions and aren't going to share anything with you. And you're going to be put on blast as a gold digger and a thought. and the rest of the world's going to believe it. In other news, let's talk about, okay, we're going to get off the black news and we're going to get on the Armenian slash, I don't know what these people are. Real Housewives of New Jersey, Jennifer Aydin, Aydin, I think that's Armenian. Her husband, they have this gazillion-dollar mansion that they put on the show. Her husband's a plastic surgeon, and he's quite a handsome dude. You know, he's got the teeth, he's got the height, he's got the look, and he's got the body. But I guess maybe 10 years ago, he was not feeling very secure, and he needed to go ahead and have an affair with the pharmaceutical sales rep that was dropping off drugs at his office, sexing her up while his wife was in the hospital pregnant. And the day she finds this out, the day before she gives birth to their child, and decides to stay with him. Well, you know how white girl magic is. Whenever there's a hater that's on a reality show, she's not making as much money as you, or she doesn't have as many coins, or she's jealous of the relationship that you're in. One of the white women, blonde hair, blue-eyed haters of the brown girl decided to out the girl's husband's affair from 10 years prior on the show and said, well, you know, you're sitting up there like your marriage is so great, but your husband cheated on you 10 years ago, and that's why he got fired from his medical practice that he was working in. She just said it out there like so flippantly, like it was nothing. I was like, oh my goodness. She's trying to sting her, but Jennifer she had the clap back. That's why I know she's part black. That's why she's not white. She got some black in her because her clapback was, well, if you're going to say it was the pharmaceutical sales rep, so B, get it right. I said, come on now, Jennifer. And then she went home crushed. She said, honey, we got to go. And he's like, what happened, baby? Well, you know what? They talked about the affair that you did, blah, blah, blah. So now it's become the new season's play out where we see that their happy house is not really a happy house. But you know what? I don't really care if he cheated on her. I don't care because she took him back. And they've been married for 10 years since then. And the thought that was out there with the pharmaceutical sales rep, she thought that she was going to replace the wife. And it didn't happen. So if you're out there trying to have sex with these married men and you're out there being a thought, if you're a dancer, if you're a Kane Hall girl from Texas A&M from the 90s, you're still on your knees trying to beg a dude to marry you. It's not going to work. You get more bees with honey. Did I say that right? I don't know how you say it. Either way. And you get a ring by closing your legs. You cannot sleep with somebody's husband. I mean, although I can say that there are some women out there who are able to steal the husband and get married to him. But then you have to be worried about, is he going to cheat on me? Yeah, girl, he is, girl. Because he got you as a thought. So he thinks of you as a thought no matter what lie he's telling you as the wife. When you make a hoe into a housewife or when you get them from cheating, I would have to assume that your husband knows that you're not a faithful kind of chick. And that the sanctity of marriage is not really sanctified. You know, you're supposed to be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and baptized. As they say at the good old Church of God in Christ. You know, you have to be thinking like that. So this girl did not win the prize. And then leave it to the white girl to out the brown girl about her man. But it looks like in other brown girl news, we're going to switch back to the brown girl. Thank you for having a good clap back, Jennifer Aydin, confronting Bill about the affair day before she gave birth. Anyway. So, but the problem with that is that their daughter saw the episode, and their daughter saw the social media post that was put out there by the trashy white woman. You know, she's just poor white trash anyway, because her backstory is that she was having an affair with a married man for several years, and her own mother was having an affair with a married man for like 15 years, and she bragged about it in her book that she wrote, where she outed herself, and she got mad at Jennifer because Jennifer didn't out the fact that her husband cheated on her. And she was upset that Jennifer had such a problem with the white woman's background. Well, she has a problem with it because it was some white girl that he probably cheated on her with. Some white girl that probably had blonde hair and blue eyes that was effing her husband. So, of course, she's going to be upset when it comes to hearing that kind of stories. Come on, she has PTSD. And she sees a chick like you that's trying to make money off of a book, but like trying to glorify it, where she broke up her own marriage by dating the plumber. The guy who came to do construction at her house, she started screwing him behind her husband's back and broke up the whole family. I mean, she's a thought that now that guy doesn't work and she's the breadwinner of the relationship. And so she's just jealous. That's what happens when women get jealous. Okay. So we're going to go back on now to another woman who's jealous of the Wu-Tang Clan. Yes. Old Dirty Bastard's widow filed a $1 million lawsuit claiming that the estate, her husband's estate, is owed $1 million in royalties by Wu-Tang Clan. Unfortunately, what's her name? Oh, Icelene Jones. Icelene, Icelene Jones. She's suing Wu-Tang Productions Incorporated, claiming the production company failed to make contractually obligated royalty payments to his estate since 2011. Now, I got to say something to you guys. You guys may not want to hear this, but your girl went to the Soul Train Music Awards, you know, the year that Biggie Smalls was killed. And I happened to be out there. I know it was 25 years ago because it was the same year in 1997 that I was out there. And after the award show, ODB was hitting on me, y'all. He wanted to hang out. He's like, oh, I see you. I want to marry. I was looking very, very good at the Soul Train Music Awards. I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was looking like I do today. Yeah, ODB would try to get with me, y'all, but he was too short in his teeth. I could not get with the whole situation. His hair was too jacked up. But anyway, I'm glad he was able to move on to greener pastures and marry somebody that he needed to be with. Iceline. She looks nothing like me. And it looks like in July, there was one payment. I'm back on her. It was one payment of $130,000 made on July 6th of 2021. And Warner Tamerlane Publishing Corporation in 2019 and 2020 said those represent only a small percentage of the amounts payable to the estate under the recording agreement. So I'm so glad that ODB's widow is suing the white boys for the money. You know, because let me just tell you something. Wu-Tang Clan Productions Incorporated, they have Bobby RZA Diggs alleging it breached an agreement they signed in 1992. It's got Dennis Ghostface Killer Coles, Corey Raekwon Woods, and Gary Jizza G. Rice were all supposed to receive 50% of royalties from their music, and they have not received it. It looks like the Jewish boys and the white boys got into the company and stole all the money and all the royalties, and they have not been paying. Because, you know, with the advent of, let's say, Facebook and Instagram and all these social media venues playing, and Apple Music playing all these songs, every time a song is played, there are points on an album that have to be paid to the artists, the writers, the producers, and all the people that are in line that get the points from the album. So I'm glad that the brothers are now suing. Too bad they don't have enough coins to buy the label out. Anyway, we're going to move on to another story. Let me just talk about Black Man Magic. Come on now. Dave Chappelle, a native Ohioan, is that a word? Ohio, whatever it is. Dave Chappelle has scrapped plans with affordable housing. Ohio Village is a county or a little village in Ohio that had plans to build affordable housing near his proposed restaurant and comedy club in his hometown. Dave Chappelle was spending $65 million, okay, on the company to build this entertainment monstrosity. When all of a sudden, the white people on the city council decided it would be great to put affordable housing, y'all know, projects out there to make it a project-ridden area, to make it basically the black no-income part of town. And so, unfortunately, Dave Chappelle had to show his butt at the city council meeting. I think that was on Tuesday, on Monday, when they were having a zoning ordinance that included dozens of affordable housing units after opposition from Dave came up. He said he called the village council a bunch of clowns and threatened that his business ventures would be off the $65 million table. And he was going to have, it was the planned site of a restaurant called Firehouse Eatery, a comedy club called Live from YS, and they were all under development in the old village firehouse. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported on this, but the Daily Mail had the video footage posted from the Yellow Springs Community Access YouTube page, where Chappelle wondered why the council would pursue the housing plan while it kicked out a $65 million a year company. And this is what, quote, Dave Chappelle said, "I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns, and I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table." This is what black men with money can do. This is the same thing that happened when there was a beach party that was going to have a concert out there with, what's the guy that, oh gosh, now I can't remember his name. A rapper had a city that he was going to host a concert for to raise money for the city, but they unfortunately killed one of the cops killed his cousin. And so, you know, the rapper that's like 55 years old, he looks like he's 12. He's a rapper artist. I'll think of his name later. But He was the Neptunes artist. You know, I forgot his name. Somebody's going to think of it in a minute. But he did the same thing. He's like, why are y'all out there trying to have this concert and have me out there making $50 million for y'all, for your city, and your same police force, you won't sanction them for shooting my cousin who was unarmed just a week ago. So Dave Chappelle said, he pulled the money card and said, I'm going to pull my money out of here, Ohio. Let me tell you something about these racist white folks everywhere. If you are living anywhere in the United States of America, if you are black, you better have millions and millions of dollars, because black people know. If you don't have a seat at the table, it's you on the menu. These white folks knew good and well that Dave Chappelle was going to bring $65 million worth of value to that community every single year, okay, with his influx of capital. But they decided that black part of town didn't need to have that $65 million influx. They wanted it to be affordable housing. And so if he didn't pull out his money, they would have made it Project Council of America. I'm not saying no to project housing, but I don't want project housing in the suburbs where I live. I don't, because it brings down my property value. I don't live in the projects anymore. I lived in the projects when I was living over in 3rd Ward when I was going to law school. I prefer the suburbs. You can say what you want to, but I read a whole lot of books, from Jay-Z on to Snoop Dogg's books, on to 50 Cent, on to every book out there I can read. Once you make some money, get your butt out of the projects. That's what happened to the rapper that got killed in the music studio. I forget all these rappers' names because I know too much information about everybody. It's hard to keep them separate. But he got shot in the music studio in the very neighborhood that he was trying to put on. He got shot up by the haters. You have to leave the haters in the projects, because just because you're doing good for the community does not mean the community means well for you. Okay? The community is a little bit jealous and the haters are sprinkled throughout. So Dave Chappelle put that threat out there. And what happened? The vote was deadlocked at 2-2. And the new housing development could not proceed because one person said, okay, I don't want to have a speak in this. They backed down. The Yellow Springs Council showed that proposal was pitched as a way to reduce the cost of housing and allow workers for village services to live near their jobs. Well, too bad. They need to now go ahead and work for affordable wages at Dave Chappelle's multi-million-dollar mega industry. So, moving on. Well, it's unfortunate that, New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara was arrested on battery charge in Las Vegas after playing in the Pro Bowl. Y'all, I think it was the day before the Pro Bowl, allegedly Alvin Kamara came outside of his hotel room and saw a group of guys standing there. This is allegedly, because I don't even believe this bullcrap. This fan standing outside the hotel room, that's what they do, that's what fans do, waiting to get an autograph. Allegedly, somebody in Alvin's entourage said, look at that ugly dude over there. And this guy alleges that the New Orleans Saints running back went up and started punching the guy 9 times in the face. That's what he put out there. Then Alvin goes and plays in the Pro Bowl. And then after that, Roger Goodell was notified that the cops were looking for him. And they said, after you do your interviews and after you finish playing the game, the feds are here. They want to talk to you. And then he went out there and had his interview. Yeah. I don't believe it. That's another story I don't believe. That's some white boy trying to get rich off of a black man. Anyway, cutting to commercial. You have to, I always say whether I believe it or not. Other news stories, they be like, they don't know, but I'm just telling you, I don't believe that bull crap. When I was married to my ex-husband, it was a running thing that everybody was after the wallet. Everybody wanted to make a come up. Everybody in the NFL, I was married to a Dallas Cowboy, just a point of information. Everybody in the NFL, always the owners, the agents, the publicists, everybody used to preach to the team members that everybody is trying to make a come up on your wallet. Whether they're a woman who's a thought, trying to make a come up by getting pregnant, whether it's a dude trying to pick a fight with you, trying to sue you for battery or assault. Everybody's trying to come your way to try to get in your pockets. And I believe this was just another story that unfortunately New Orleans Saints running back is having to deal with. But maybe it was somebody in his entourage that punched the guy 9 times in the face. But he better tell his entourage to sit down. Entourages have a place. It's called in the back. Stay in the back, not to the front. But the problem with entourages, they start feeling like they're the star. And they don't seem to value. I'm going to wear this little hat. You see this? Okay? Valentine's Day. So if you want a little Valentine's hat for your little sugar to wear to school on Monday, for $35, direct message me. You can cash at me at Nyan Zamora Esquire, ESQ. I am a lawyer. I have my handle like that on everything. I'm not on TikTok, so you're not going to find me there. I'm not putting them on the gram. I mean, I guess it's on the gram now, but I'm not putting pictures up and stuff. But, you know, I'm just trying to give you all a nice little purview. It's already 11:06. I'm glad, because we're going to be coming back with... Oh, you know, we got to talk about Adele. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Tesla. So the stories that we have coming up are dealing with racism, because, you know, it's Black History Month, so we got to keep it black. And Adele, you know, Adele is allegedly, people think that they're speculating that she's engaged. She ain't engaged. She got a big old diamond ring that she's just wearing on her ring finger because she wants to be engaged. That's what that is. Because that brother that she dated was the agent for, who's the agent for? LeBron James' agent is dating Adele. You know, when girls go from fat to skinny, they start dating dudes that have always dated skinny women. Did y'all remember? Did I report on the fact that Adele she quit her Las Vegas show? You know, those kind of shows that they pay you like $100 million to perform 10 times a week or something like that for like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yes, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Ben Simmons.
Anthony, what's the guy's name?
Rich Paul.
Rich Paul. Rich boy. Rich Paul has been dating Adele. Y'all know he's black. And he's a super agent. And so he's been dating Adele. And I think that was the first time Adele had some black D. Because now she's acting brand new. So now she was supposed to have yes, DeAndrea. She's supposed to be having her Las Vegas show tour, where she was going to do a residency like Britney Spears did before she quit and they put her in basically house arrest jail. And then how I think Janet Jackson did one, J-Lo did one, Usher. Those casino hotels, let me tell you something about the hustle. If you are a star out there that can sing and your agent has not tried to get you a Vegas show, then you need to fire your agent. Those people are out there getting $500 million. Celine Dion did a run for like $400 million. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? She built like this huge mansion out there and she was performing like forever. And when J-Lo went out there, I wanted to go to the concert, but then I got pregnant. That was into that. I'm going nowhere, big feet and everything. Actually, my feet didn't get bit. I wore my Louis Vuitton showcase every day, all the way up until the bird, baby. But I just was like, golly, I wanted to see J-Lo in concert because I'm a J-Lo fan. I think I love J-Lo so much because she dumped her husband. She dumped Mark Anthony after he cheated on her. I think and I liked her even more when she dumped, what's the guy's name that played baseball?
A-Rod.
A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez. I liked her even more when she dumped A-Rod. So that's why I like her so much. And plus, you know, I feel like I liked her hustle when she was with Diddy. I liked the green outfit. I liked the Versace dress that she wore. It's like, girl, if you're flat-chested and you can pull that off, more power to you. You know, she's like an A cup and a half. And I'm like a bigger than that. Everybody's boobies are bigger than J-Lo's. But J-Lo got a booty. Somebody was trying to do a comparison of the Latina hotties in Hollywood, and they did a comparison of Salma Hayek with J-Lo on Instagram. And of course, Salma Hayek, one, she has a better body than J-Lo. Because J-Lo, all she has is booty and abs. Booty and abs are in. But Salma Hayek got the triple D's, baby. She got the biggest boobs in Hollywood, and they're real. So she won. But I always like J-Lo because she was the woman that you want women to be. She's the woman that you look up to. Like if your man cheats, bye. She dropped Mark Anthony so fast. When Dayanara, oh, come over here, Sherelle, come over here so people can see your Valentine's hat. So Sherelle's gonna see, you're gonna see Sherelle's Valentine's hat. Now this one is already sold. Y'all can see that hat. Isn't that so cute? Turn to the side, little model. Yay, so if your little one has Valentine's Day on Monday and they're celebrating, you need to get one of these nice little fascinators for her. They're little girl size for little bitty heads. And I have an extra small head, said my braider on Tuesday, which I already knew. I had an extra small graduation hat.
You come back on 30
and all my degrees. I've graduated 3 times. Let me see.
Going into the feds or?
We're going to go into, hold on, let me see. I got to talk about Adele.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Adele and then I'll do Adele before Tesla. I'll do Adele, then Tesla because that leads into the feds. That's discrimination. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm ready. Okay. Can we play some women's music?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all, speaking of women.
Right now?
No, after I come off. I'm going to make this a short segment. I'm about to talk about the women. My nose is a little runny.
You ready?
Hold on. Mm-hmm.
Only on Houston's Home for Jams,
Because I like Adele.
You were on.
Okay, everybody, we're back. And for this segment, this is going to be a short segment. Did you all hear over the weekend that, okay, number one, Adele, for those of you who don't know her, she is the white girl from England that sings like a black girl. She's the one who beat out Beyonce the year that Beyonce came out with the Lemonade album. Adele beat her for album of the year, and Adele got on stage and said, "Oh, Beyonce, you should have won." And we all were like, "Yeah, you're right, because that album was whack that you came out with. You only won it because you're white." That's what I thought anyway. That may not be what the people thought, but that's what I thought. And obviously that's what Jay-Z thought, because, you know, Beyonce was very, very gracious. We all know that Lemonade was the best album of all time. And even Adele admitted that she was listening to the Lemonade album while she was recording her own stuff. Anyway, Adele is dating a guy named Rich Paul. For those of you who don't know who that is LeBron James' agent in basketball. Agents are paid, it's guaranteed pay for agents. They get paid off the top of the contract, and they get paid a lot of money. So Rich Paul has several celebrity clients that he represents, and he's black, and he was dating Adele. And so while he was dating Adele, I guess she got caught up and she started going to the championship games, and she was going to all the games sitting on the front row. You know how they do out there, they sit on the front row, like, this is my man. She was having her arm wrapped around. You know, when fat girls lose a lot of weight, let me just be honest with you. Girls that go from big to small, they lose their minds. And then they forget that just because now you're dating a different kind of dude, you're dating the guys that are used to dating dimes, okay? Now, don't be mad at me out there, chubby girls. Don't be mad. I'm just speaking some truth right now, okay? The 5 needs to listen while the 10 is talking. That's what Drake said. I kind of agree. So I'm giving you my perspective. Anybody that I have now, I'm not telling you for women who, there's some big girls, like my sister, my older sister Tanya, she was a big girl. Big girl. And she never had a problem pulling the kind of dudes that I was pulling at any moment of her size. Because I've always said it doesn't matter how large you are. A woman that's 300 pounds can take your man if twig. Okay? It's about the game. It's not about how you look. And you skinny women out there, so focused on getting implants and getting your butt done. I saw one girl who's on Facebook showing off her booty, her new booty. I was like, girl, you look stupid. You got implants, contacts, fake hair, and a fake butt. That's doing too much. This dude's still not going to marry you. So for me, it's kind of like, if you're caught up in what you look like, then I'm talking to you. A chubby girl can take your man if you're a size 2. A woman with no teeth can take your man even if you have a perfect grill. Okay? A bald-headed woman can take your man even if you have hair down your back that's natural. It's not about what you look like. But for those women out there who feel like they need to have surgery to make themselves look a certain way, when you're a fat girl that's like Adele fat, like she had been teeter-tottering on 300 pounds. You all saw how she was. She was so large that her record label would not put her body on the cover of the album. Did y'all notice that? On her album called 1, then album called 2. Now that she's skinny, they're putting her face all over everything. Well, let me just tell you about the woman's psyche. When you're a chubby girl, you're dating chubby dudes. Other guys that you feel like they're equal. Guys that you feel like, well, you're fat too, so you're not really going to call me fat. Or you're not going to go try to leave me for some skinny girl because you're fat too. Well, what did she do? Have a baby with this chubby dude who was not very attractive. But that's all. When she was a 3, she thought all she could pull was a 3. Well, now she feels like she's a 10, so she's trying to pull 10 dudes. So now she pulled Rich Paul. And honestly, I just feel like Rich Paul is just experimenting. He's stepping off on the pink toe side just for a little bit. He's not about to be, listen. For all that it is, Adele was offered a multi-million-dollar gig to have a performance in Vegas that was a running show. And if you're a Vegas entertainer, you know those people out there like Celine Dion, J-Lo. Didn't Neo, you said Neo? Usher had a Vegas show. All these entertainers are pulling in Britney Spears $100 million, $200 million, $300 million, $400 million to do a Vegas show. Barbra Streisand had a Vegas show. All these superstars have Vegas shows. Well, Adele has been dating the black man, star athlete agent Rich Paul. He's kind of medium handsome. I would give him on the look scale. I mean, he's not like, I would give him about a 6.5. I mean, he's not my cup of tea, but he's about a 6.5 in the looks. But when you're a fat girl that goes from like 300 plus pounds down to like, I don't know what plus pounds she weighs now. She's still thick. But she's all of a sudden going to be feeling all in love and start thinking like a skinny girl. When actually she still has fat girl mentality. Because it looks like, something must have happened to where she let her emotions get the best of her. And she was in a very cantankerous, turbulent time in her relationship with Rich Paul that caused her to cancel her multi-million-dollar Vegas shows. Do you hear me? When a dude can have you canceling your bag, that's a problem. That's letting me know where your self-esteem is, Adele. And all those songs that she was writing in album number 1 and number 2, she was writing those love songs about ugly dudes. You know, chubby dudes that broke up with her, where the relationship didn't work out. She wasn't writing them about Rich Paul's, you know, guys that are in the scale of 1 to 10 for what she could pull was a 10 in her eyes, or maybe he was a stratospheric 35. But when you're dealing with that kind of level of insecurity about body issues and stuff like that, you end up canceling your own career just because you have an argument with your dude. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to do that. So Adele now has been given a smackdown from the LGBTQIA community, the Alphabet Crew, because she received an award, and she received an award at the Brit Awards, because you know she's British, picking up the Artist of the Year award at the Brit Awards, and lamented she said, quote, in her acceptance speech, quote, "I understand why the name of this award has changed, but I really love being a woman and being a female artist. I do. I'm really, really proud of us. I really, really am." That's it. That's all she said. But she was slandered and run down and slandered as a TERF, which is TERF, which stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. First of all, let me tell you about this bull crap. This is something that white people made up. TERF. Black folks did not come up with this bull crap. Let me tell you something. I'm okay with the gays. I just am. Call it my cynical view of the way it is. But if you're a transgender out there, if you're a transgender woman, which means you're a guy with a dick that now has breast implants, so you want to tell women that were born with a vagina that actually works and produces a baby out of it, that we should not be able to call ourselves women, shame on you, white people. It's not a lot of black people talking about that bull crap. This word was made up by white women who are men with penises that now have breast implants that used to be just called transvestites. And now they call them transgender. I've changed you ain't changing your gender. You're only what God made you at the beginning. Sorry. Otherwise, you're a hermaphrodite. And if God made you that way, then you have a choice. And if he didn't make you that way, you better stop choosing for yourself, or you're going to end up in the ground and go in the opposite direction of heaven. I'm just trying to tell you. You can live your life the best way you want to, but don't bring that crap around me. But they're all having a war with her. And it says, you know, she's getting a lot of grief, and she postponed her multi-million-dollar Vegas residency at the last minute, you know, saying that, you know, she's got a lot of things that are going on with her. And for a Gen Xer, you know, for Generation Xers, or whatever you call them, you know, women are women, dude. And I don't see the men, the trans men, or whatever you call them, the girls that are, listen, if you are a man that wants to be a woman, just wear a dress. Because you have not cut off your penis. You haven't done that. You haven't had, if you have cut off, you're a dummy. What if you change your mind later on? Anyway, hats off to Adele. Get your womanhood on. Hats off to all the women out there. Don't let these people shame you into being. I'm gonna go get a shirt and put TERF on it, because I'm trans exclusionary. I'm excluding you because you can't tell a woman not to call herself a woman just because you want to be in the club and you weren't born that way. Bye, y'all. On that, on that, we're gonna cut to a song, because then I gotta talk about real news. Here come the feds, baby, because Tesla is racist. Did you know that if you're a black person around there driving around in a Tesla, baby, let me tell you something. They don't like black folks, and they treat black folks wrong at their worker plants. Yes, they do. Tesla says California is suing them over alleged discrimination and harassment. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and cut on that. If you're in California driving a Tesla, go ahead and turn in your electric car and go get a gasoline and fuel guzzler. It's a whole lot. Y'all, I'm having some issues today. I'm leaving here to go get a root canal on my mouth. See these choppers? Yep. I have a root canal that was done 8 years ago. It needs to be re-rooted. I thought the doctor took the root out. I don't know why I still have any of the root left to give me some reason to have a canal. Anyway, so I'm going to be suffering dental trauma later on this afternoon. I have 2 root canals and I have to get a crown. I've got a lot. You know what? Here's the thing. You better keep, you out there taking selfies, you better make sure you have your teeth when you're 80. I plan on keeping mine. Yes, I do. Which means you better have good dental insurance. So you got to pay cash out of pocket. But anyway, I have good insurance. So I'm getting a root canal later on this afternoon. So pray for me in my mouth. And I'm going to get, I like to get all my dental stuff done at once. You know, I live in the dentist's office. I feel like everything, listen, because if I got both my feet surgery at one time. I don't know if surgery is a word. I got surgical procedures done on both my feet at the same time on December 11th of 2021. Because I figured I'm not the kind of chick that's going to come back for round 2 and 3. I'm just not. So I better get everything done at once. Do all that you can while I'm there, because I will remember the pain and never come back. Since I know that to be my personality, I'm getting my mouth knocked out at once, and then I have another appointment tomorrow to get a crown. Golly. You know, for all this work that I'm getting, why doesn't dental insurance cover enough? I don't know. Anyway, that's what we got going on. Let's see. I already covered. Let's see. Tesla's getting sued by the feds, state of California. What they do? Discrimination and harassment. They're alleging systemic racial discrimination. You know what I'm so... All these... Tesla... Listen. Y'all are going to be very shocked. If you guys are getting discriminated against or harassed... I had to sue my former law firm for sexual harassment and discrimination. I didn't have to sue them. I just got a settlement. It was great. Now that I'm looking back on all this stuff, I should have got more money out their gate. I'm just telling you, back in the day, you better start filing these lawsuits. This Tesla employee got awarded $136.9 million. Golly. $136.9 million. And on that note, I have to drink some water. Why didn't I go for more dollars from that law firm? Dang. You know what? Actually, I'm going to have to do some research, because I feel like I need to tear up that settlement agreement. Like, look, I'm suing you. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized by the low end of the money I got. I should have got the high end of the money. Should have gone for some M's. Man. Anyway. If you're out there getting discriminated against, you need to be suing these people. Don't let the white people get away with it, ladies and gentlemen. You better start suing them. If they're discriminating and harassing you, you better file some lawsuits. Don't do like the girl on video, or the girl that claims that Snoop Dogg, mouth raped her. Don't do that. You need to go ahead and sue or file criminal charges against these men or even women that are raping. I don't know what they're doing it with. If you got some of these transgender, if you're a trans woman out there, hiding as a woman but out there raping women, you need to get sued too. Anybody that is mouth raping women out there, allegedly. I'm ready. Doom, doom, doom. We need to play more upbeat song. That kind of brought me down. It's a whole lot of money in this. Blah, blah, blah. All right, everybody, we're back. And in this is basically a Here Comes the Feds. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing is set to sue Tesla, alleging systemic racial discrimination and harassment. The automaker, they posted it in their blog on Wednesday, which was yesterday. Y'all know I bring out the latest news. Well, here's what happened. Fahiza Alim is the department spokesperson for the California Department of Fair Housing and Employment. And he said, a former Tesla employee, Owen Diaz, I'm assuming he was Latino, was awarded $136.9 million last year, ladies and gentlemen. $136.9 million is larger than the lottery. It was awarded by a jury that concluded that he was subject to a racially hostile workplace. Other lawsuits have alleged a toxic culture. Last week, Kaylin Barker, a black woman, come on, black woman. Black woman, when we hear about $136.9 million being paid out by jury, we're like, sign me up, I'm suing too. So a black woman, Kaylin Barker, she worked at Tesla, the manufacturing plant, and filed a lawsuit claiming that the automaker tolerates, quote, rampant acts of racism, quote, in its factories. Barker's lawsuit focuses on her employment at Tesla in 2021. Tesla said the anticipated lawsuit from California DFEH appears to focus on incidents between 2015 and 2019. So basically hers, the black woman's, is outside of the range. It says, quote, Tesla strongly opposes all forms of discrimination and harassment. Tesla continues to seek to provide a workplace that is safe, respectful, fair, and inclusive, all of which are vital to achieving our mission. Your mission to sell more cars? How's that going for you, Tesla? So after 136, you know what? And here's what I want to dive a little deeper into this 136.9. That on October 5th of 2021, the verdict that was given to Owen Diaz from their Fremont factory. Okay, maybe Owen Diaz is black. Well, here's what he claims. In his report, he said that he regularly heard racial slurs, including the N-word, on the Fremont factory floor and saw racist graffiti in bathrooms in a racially insensitive cartoon. His verdict included $6.9 million in compensatory damages and $130 million in punitive damages. Punitive damages are meant to punish. That's where the $130 million came in. So in compensatory damages, that was $6.9 million, where he's saying he suffered actual injury. The case was decided by an 8-person jury in San Francisco, which included one black juror, according to Lawrence Organ, who is Diaz's attorney. Now, it says Owen Diaz stood up to one of the richest companies in the country, and the jury heard him. It says, we do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we were not perfect. This is what Tesla's saying. We do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we were not perfect. We're still not perfect. But we've come a long way from 5 years ago. We continue to grow and improve in how we address employees' concerns. Now, Workman, who is black, wrote that there were no witnesses to Diaz being called the N-word. That's valid. This post, now they used a black woman working at Tesla to go ahead and post that we're trying to make changes at Tesla. They always use the black person to turn on the other black people. Somebody needs to fire her butt. Anyway, if you know who she is, y'all stop being friends with her if you're black. She's not for you. She's against you. She's like a turncoat. She's like Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. Anyway, she claimed that although witnesses testified that they regularly heard racial slurs, including the N-word, on the Fremont factory floor, that most of the time they thought the language was used in a friendly manner. And usually by African-American colleagues. The black woman says that calling people the N-word at work was friendly. Okay. Now, here's the problem. You know, Diaz is 53 years old. He's now working as a bus driver in Oakland. He was a forklift operator at Tesla. So now he went from Tesla to working as a bus driver, and he's 53. He's obviously doing that just to keep himself busy because now he's a multimillionaire. And it looks like in May, Melvin Berry, a former Tesla employee, won a $1 million judgment after an arbitrator found that he was called racial slurs by supervisors and subjected to other racially hostile conduct. But Oregon also has lost cases alleging racial harassment against Tesla. This guy named Oregon, apparently he's like trying to help them clean up their act over there at Tesla. And he's representing people that are like winning a lot of verdicts. And I have to say, hats off to you, guy. I mean, man, Tesla, man. It makes me want to open up an old lawsuit that I should have filed against my former employer for sexual harassment and racism. Golly, my settlement was good, but it wasn't that good. I'm about to tear up that paper right now. See, what is the statute of limitations? Can I go back and sue y'all? I think I want to sue y'all. I'm going to give you the little settlement that you gave me back because I make more than that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and cut to commercial. And we're going to come back with some more. Here come the feds. $130 million in punitive damages. Baby, let me tell you something. These jurors are not trying to sit around. And this is only one black person on that jury, y'all. Diaz, I don't even think he's black. I think he was just offended by them using the N-word because he must have a black wife or something like that. He must know a lot of black people. But, you know, the fact that he was able to take his case all the way up to the top to the jury and was not able to be punked out by Tesla having $1 trillion says a lot. Like, if you stay the course, you can get the coins. Stay the course and get the coins. All you out there that need an employment lawyer, I don't know if very many, you need to call Katrina Patrick. She is my Alpha Kappa Alpha sister. Call Katrina Patrick, Katrina Patrick, Patrick. She is in Houston, Texas. If you've been sexually harassed, if you've been subject to a hostile work environment, call my sorority sister, Katrina Patrick. You can find her on the internet, baby. You need to call her. You need to start suing these folks. You need to get these coins. I'm about to call her, but today say, can I open up some old wounds? Can I open up? Because the white boys is trying to get at me. The white boys is trying to get at me, saying all kinds of stuff about my body, yada, 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 while I'm at work, allowing other people to say something about my body, yada, yada. And I was the only black girl working there. Hello. First black female attorney at the law firm. I'm about to go back in and sue them. Yes, I am about to get the courts. I'm about to take that all the way to the jury, baby. Yes, I am. Because now it's right. Y'all are out there being subjected to all the buffoonery from these places that you work for. Get off the plantation. Start owning it. You want to go from being a field Negro or a house Negro to the owner of the plantation. You want to Snoop Dogg them and buy Death Row label. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You want to buy it. You want to buy it. What's my story I have coming up next? Oh my, listen, we having reverse discrimination news. I'm going to talk about Mayor Eric Adams. Why do you call the white people crackers? But the white people are like, we don't care. We love you still, Eric. I know. I have to put that out there. Eric Adams is showing, we have racist Troy Nehls. I'm not saying he's racist, but I don't really think he's pro-black. Troy Nehls out there won the Congressional District 22, which is the office that I ran for to represent the Democrats, and those dumbbutts didn't vote for me. They didn't vote for me. But guess what? Troy Nehls says the Capitol Police snooped in his office after criticism for January 6th failures. No, Troy Nehls basically had a target on the wall, and a big old X marks the spot where you could find. That's what he did. Troy Nehls, the congressman out of District 22, is a part of that January 6th investigation.
30 seconds.
Okay. Why am I putting these on like it's about time to go? I got to put these headphones back on. I keep on forgetting. Oh my gosh. Let me find my earring. It's real gold. It's not fake. It's not fake. The only thing fake on me is my hair. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to talk about Troy Nehls before I talk about Eric Adams. Sensation. Come on, Beyonce. Here's your paper. I love Beyonce.
And FBI cases from this week. Only on It's Debatable with attorney Diane Zamora on 95.3 Jams.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Okay, so the first, here come the feds. We're dealing with something close to Houston's home. Congressman Troy Nehls, a congressman representing Congressional District 22, is out here shaming the Houstonians and shaming the Sugarlanders for his old Republican, possibly. I'm not going to call him a racist. No, there are some racist Democrats I know out there in Congressional District 22. I just think that Troy Nehls is so pro-Trump that he really did not want to certify. He's one of the congressmen that's listed in the January 6th committee's investigation on one of the congressmen who did not want to support the Electoral College votes being submitted and confirmed by former Vice President Mike Pence. Troy Nehls, who has a twin brother, Trevor Nehls, he's upset by the U.S. Capitol Police. He said that they went into his office, his congressional office, and took pictures inside in retaliation. This is what he said. In retaliation for his criticism of the force's lack of preparedness for the January 6, 2021 riots. Now, a police report filed at the time said the officer entered around 3:30 p.m., November 20th, after finding the door wide open. Inside the report, it said the officer noticed a whiteboard with suspicious writings mentioning body armor. The report said the whiteboard also had a map of the office building next to Nehls' with an X marked at the entrance. Nehls is a former Fort Bend sheriff who completed his first term in Congress, now says the inspector general is investigating the November incident. He says the suspicious writings were legislation he was drafting on body armor standards. As for the map with the X, Nehls says it was drawn, quote, to show one of our interns where the damn ice machine was, end quote. Now, here's the problem. If the entrance, now I appreciate Congressman Nehls trying to at least have a response, but Congressman, you need better people in your publicity game because there's all kinds of wrong. Having a whiteboard with an X on it to show your intern where the water machine was is not your job. Number one, the intern already knew where the water was. So that was a lie. Now, I don't want you up there getting investigated because you were one of those congressmen that's under the microscope, you and the other treasonous congressmen and women, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, that tried to overthrow the government because you did not like the outcome of the election, which was free and fair. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are saying the election was not valid, but former Vice President Mike Pence even came out last week and made a speech saying, okay, all this fodder that y'all are talking about, all this hullabaloo, that's what we say at A&M, hullabaloo, all this hullabaloo is just trash. The election was going to be certified no matter what because it was free and fair and it was valid. And so Nels was one of the 17 Texas Republicans who objected to counting the Electoral College votes for Biden, even after the Capitol attack. He was one of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's picks to serve on the January 6th commission before Republicans pulled support for the independent investigation. He also drew national attention as he helped Capitol Police fend off rioters from the House chamber on January 6th. So, Troy, you tried to help out, but on November 20th, then you turned your back on your fellow police officers. On January 7, 2021, Nels recalled telling the rioters through the broken glass at the door to the House, quote, "This is un-American, and this isn't the way we should conduct ourselves." I'm trying to yell like I'm him yelling through the door. Did y'all get it? The riots left 5 people dead, including a Capitol Police officer. 150 officers were injured. 4 law enforcement officers who responded later committed suicide. Quote, "They weren't touching anybody. They weren't assaulting anybody." That's what Nels said in his PBS NewsHour interview last month. Quote, "They were walking around inside the Capitol building. Many of them were grandmas. Many of them almost appeared to be ushered in." End quote. Now, first of all, we didn't see a single grandma up there. If there was a grandma, I'm sure NBC or MSNBC would have had her on the television. What we did see was a black coon up there acting like a buffoon, walking around looking confused, like, how did I make it this far? How did I make it all the way to the front to be inside the Capitol? And how did this other white guy next to me have a rebel flag up in the Capitol building where Frederick Douglass's picture is hanging? I don't know. There's something wrong with that. Anyway, it says, quote, from Trevor Nels, "We had it all laying right in front of us, and they did nothing with it. January 6th should never have happened. It should never have happened." Well, here's the problem. It did happen. The treasonous, white, conservative Republicans who are engaged in this cult, yes, it is called a cult. One of the main cult followers came out and said he was one of the insurrection. He said, hey, this is a cult. The January 6th crew is a cult. And unfortunately, people have been caught up in the cultiness. Here's what I have to say to the Democrats who are whack. The Democrats, the punk A-square-sus Democrats who have not used the United States Constitution the way it was supposed to be handled, who now let us see the hypocrisy of saying, oh, we must follow the Constitution. The reason why we don't follow the Constitution is specifically because we saw treasonous insurrectionist behavior on January 6th trying to unseat the would-be sworn-in President Biden. They tried to get Mike Pence. They wanted to hang him. They tried to get Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They engaged in treasonous war crimes. We were at war. This was a civil war they tried to enact on U.S. soil in supposed to be the most secure, safest place in the United States of America, Washington, D.C. Do you hear me? Obama was still in the White House, y'all, or Trump was still in the White House at the time. Trump was even scared of his own people. He engaged in riotous insurrectionist behavior. Why do we need a January 6th committee who has no power? All they're doing is investigating. A crew of Girl Scouts creating reports, kind of like the September 11th report. When we had the September 11th committee and the Benghazi committee that interviewed Hillary Clinton for 12 hours with only like 2 water breaks, the buffoonery, the chicoonery, and the hypocrisy of the Republican Party, all the way from Trump flushing documents down the toilet, hiding documents, stealing from the White House. You know, we saw people walking out with paintings from his crew when they were leaving the White House, walking out with art belonging to the people. There were no charges filed. No, not a single charge has been filed against any one of the harem of trumpets. Not a single one. Why can you steal documents? You can break into the Capitol building with the sitting president who will have the National Guard come out against citizens who are in peaceful protest. Okay? The National Guard with guns, tasers, smoke-filled canisters on its own citizens, but you can't arrest the president. You had no problem saying, Nixon, you're going to be arrested. You had no problem with that. All of the treasonous behavior from the congressmen and women that were engaged. You have enough information already. We don't need the January 6th committee of whackness led by Democrats who have absolutely no power, zero power to prosecute, zero power to sue. What the heck are you going to do with your paperwork? I'm wondering. What are you going to do? Have a whole bunch of committee reports? What are you going to do with your committee report? File it away? I'm sorry, because if those people that are on the January 6th committee don't get reelected, they're going home. Then bye-bye goes the committee. What's going to happen with the report? We already know that the Republicans are going to take over the House and the Senate after the midterm elections. The Democrats made sure that by not protecting voting rights for black people and brown people. Yep. The old racist Democrats too busy worried about transgender rights instead of worried about actual rights. Because guess what? Guess what's happening in other news? We're not going to stay on Troy Nels too long because too much extra going on in the news right now that I need to tell y'all about. So you have, Trump has offered to pardon anybody who was arrested from January 6th. Any of the insurrectionists who tried to overthrow the government. Trump says, if you vote for me and I win, I'm going to pardon all y'all. We know he'll do it. Well, that sounds like treason. That sounds like obstruction of justice. And who would know that better than John Dean? Y'all remember John Dean? John Dean was the attorney general that was working with Nixon. With his old traitorous butt. Now, I guess when you become a traitor to the United States, you end up on CNN being there corresponding, making millions of dollars. John Dean says he hoped the Justice Department was paying attention because Vice President Mike Pence, who Dean said he should testify before the House Select Committee, Mike Pence, you don't need to testify before crap. Save your energy. You need to save all you have for the Justice Department. If the Justice Department does not step in, here's the problem I have. The Justice Department failed to step in when it came down to filing charges against Donald Trump while he was in office because Donald Trump ran the Justice Department. But once Biden took over, now we're at the end of year 2, about to be at the midterm elections, and we still have 2 more years left. If post-Watergate, we're seeing brazen violations of the Presidential Records Act by Donald Trump, brazen violations of all of the law that we see under the Constitution by congressmen and women, all these brazen violations of the Constitution and the laws that protect us, the laws that black and brown people have to follow, Asian people have to follow, immigrants have to follow, but white people don't have to follow. We're seeing all these brazen thwarts of the U.S. Constitution and our federal laws, and they're not being arrested. Then why should we pay our taxes? Why should we file our taxes on time? Why can't we all sue the United States government for failing to hold these people to account under the United States Constitution? I mean, you had Watergate. The Supreme Court shot down Nixon's challenge to the law about presidential papers. Remember, that's what brought Nixon down. Nixon had all those tapes that he recorded everybody who came into his office like a big old dummy. He had a secret recorder recording everybody who came into his office, and the fool forgot that he kept his recorder recording when he was in there by himself talking crap. Or when he was in there by his illegal crew of fellow Republicans, or whoever, whatever party they were, the racist party of that time. He was dropping the N-word too, all on the tapes. And then when they said, you need to come out with the tapes, he forgot that he was on the darn tapes. Well, I mean, Adam Schiff has come out and said it's very important that we use President Trump's pardon promise as obstruction of justice evidence against him. Mitch McConnell says he would not favor pardons for January 6 rioters. Nobody cares what you believe, Mitch McConnell. You've been helping your party break all kinds of laws ever since you were in power. The Republicans like to censure Liz Cheney because she speaks out against wrong and speaks up for right. These fake Republicans that act like they're so into police rights, supporting our police officers and supporting our men in blue, but you're okay with 4 of the Capitol police officers committing suicide, and you're okay with what you saw the police officers, the stress and strain that they were under on January the 6th when the Capitol rioters were trying to overthrow the government. They were unmanned. they didn't have enough police force. You're okay with that, Republicans. Like, you're like, oh, we back our people in blue. Back the blue. Blue lives matter. Well, I guess it didn't matter on January the 6th. Huh? Hypocrisy at its highest level is the Republican Party. But you know what? If the Democrats are in power, and the Democrats are going to allow the Republicans to get away with this, while we have the House and the Senate and the White House, if we control every single branch, the Congress has the power to usurp whatever the Supreme Court does. We sit up here whining about the Violence Against Women's Act. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care about violence against women. You know why? Because Congress doesn't care, even though we have a majority of women in Congress. We have the greatest amount of women in Congress right now than we've ever had. That didn't pass. Didn't pass the Senate. We're not gonna have the Equal Rights Amendment. It's been on since 1983. Not gonna pass that either. You have all of this time being wasted. Wasted. And here you go, the GOP. What are they doing? They spent this entire time trying to court black people to change parties. Now, I gotta be honest. I am with the Republican because I'm anti-trans. Period. You don't need, listen, I don't want your trans bud getting a scholarship for my daughter. Period. Whatever club I'm in, you don't have to agree. What I'm wearing today has no reflection on what my group affiliation means. But I do not want a transgender girl trying to get Kennedy's D1 scholarship to any school that she's going to go to. Period. And as soon as you start letting these men with penises fight on the women's swim team, on the soccer team, and win all these awards as women, well, then you've taken away our identity. You've taken away my daughter's potential to be able to maximize her womanness. Because, you know, she's dealing with menstrual cycles, and that's what she's going to have to deal with for the rest of her days until she's in menopause. I don't know any men that have to go through a track meet with a period. And on that note, if you're a Republican out there and you've been courting the black people, good for you. Because guess what? I'm going to read you some stats that you may not want to hear, but you need to hear it. More black people relate to the Republican politics than they do to the Democrats. Okay? You don't believe me? Okay. Let me tell you how. You have the black vote in 2020. Trump's share was 12% of the black vote. That was the highest percentage for a GOP presidential nominee since Ronald Reagan. All right? It sounds crazy, but the black Republican wave is happening because the Republicans seem to espouse the same concerns and issues that black people traditionally have said matter to them. Now, black people, 82% of black people are against gay marriage. Who knew? 82%. A majority of black people are anti-trans. Sorry. More black Americans than white Americans are against immigration for undocumented people. More black people, you hear this? Immigration, trans, and gay marriage are the issues that black people are a majority against, more so than white people. Do you hear me? So if the Republican Party has promised to maintain, and here's the way I think about it, it has a lot to do with the black church. The black GOP community has said that they are switching their support, because, let me just read you the case in point. A 2019 Pew poll found that 49% of black Americans oppose same-sex marriage versus 32% of whites. A 2020 Gallup survey reported that 54% of black respondents did not believe abortion is morally acceptable. A 2018 Harvard-Harris survey found 85% of black Americans favor restricting legal immigration, more than any other demographic group. And 73% of black voters support school choice, according to a 2021 Real Clear survey. So, based on those numbers, black people are inherently Republican. I'm going to repeat those numbers to you because I think I said them too fast. And I think I need you to remember them when you think about who you're casting your vote for. When you cast your vote, Now, I will be voting for Republicans and Democrats this time around. I've never voted for Republicans since I've had my voter registration card since I was 18 years old. I've never voted for Republican. I usually just abstain from the race. But there's some legislation in Texas where I believe I need the Republicans to win. Now, I'm going to repeat those percentages to you, and this is an R&B station. Now, you black people, don't you go voting a straight slate just because they're Democrats. You need to vote your moral conscience and vote for what you believe is right. Now, let me tell you, the other black people, y'all can vote how you want to. But listen to these stats one more time. A 2019 Pew poll, that's P-E-W, go look it up, found that 49% of black Americans oppose same-sex marriages versus 32% of whites. See, white people want same-sex marriages, not black folks. Black people are still in the Christian. Listen, black Christians, we're not trying to hear that. Your black Baptist pastors out there, your Black Baptist Ministers Association of Houston out there who's like, okay, I guess we're okay with it. You only want campaign dollars. The black congressmen and women that are out here that used to be against that bathroom bill, they say, okay, we changed our mind. Well, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to be switching. You're not supposed to switch, so I'm switching my vote from you. Anyway, 49%, a 2020 Gallup survey reported that 54% of black respondents did not believe abortion is morally acceptable. Now I'm one of the percentage that believes I know it's not morally acceptable. It's not. But I'm still for it. And I didn't want to do it for me. But, I had a baby at 100. I'll be 50 with a 5-year-old this year. But I don't want to tell another woman what she can't do because I don't know her circumstances. If you've been raped by your daddy or raped by your brother, you don't need to have that baby. Now, see, that's where I come in at. That's where my morality clause hinges on that. The other stats, 2018 Harvard-Harris survey found 85% of black Americans favor restricting legal immigration. They want to stop all the immigrants from coming. Don't be legalizing. Listen, black people we built this country. Don't you come over here and make money off of it. You're not paying taxes. Go home. See, black people we know Mexicans are inherently racist against black people. That's just what we've always known. They use the N-word all the time like they're black and they're not. But they believe that they have a better place. Listen, when you see Latino Republicans out there espousing stuff against immigration, well, they don't like their own kind. But when you see black people saying, I don't want immigration, yeah, I understand because we came from slaves, so we're a little bit biased. They're like, hey, you can't just come over here to work. We came over here as slaves and built the country. So 73% of black voters support school choice. So do I. Anyway, public school listeners, if you're listening, I like free school, but I need a choice to go where I want to go. And if you're not teaching about black history, then go send your kids to the Imani School right there over here in Houston, Texas. It's all black. But you know what? They got a lot of black and Latinos and white kids that go there. If you want to learn about Christian values, go to the Imani School. There are pre-K all the way up through the 8th grade. And Kennedy used to go there. Shout out to the Imani School. And shout out to those of you who are looking for a nice little fascinator. Go to NyanzaElmore.com or Nyanza Elmore on Facebook, Instagram, and get one of these nice little fascinators for $35. I made them over the weekend. Stay heart healthy, my friends. And congratulations to those of you out there who have found a love connection this Valentine's. If you don't have a Valentine's love connection, then celebrate Galentine's with all your girlfriends. I saw a gang of girls out there celebrating Galentine's Day. Girl, get it on with your girlfriend and be like, hey, girl, let's go to eat. We don't need a man to pay for our meals. Sometimes you do, though, if you're trying to go to an expensive restaurant. But don't forget, you don't need to put out just to get a ring on it. Keep your legs closed, everybody. Bye, everybody. Have a good week. You weren't ready for me to go off that fast, were you?
I didn't know you were.
She wasn't ready for the song, y'all. I hope you all enjoyed the show today. I have to go get my double re-root canal. Getting a re-root canal in my mouth. I'm gonna go. I have a nice. I'm one of those people. I don't know if you. I don't like to take pain medicine because I like to know exactly how I'm feeling. I got that from my dad. My dad was in Vietnam. My dad never did. Even when my dad was dying of cancer, he didn't even want the morphine. Well, I saved all of my Vicodin that I was issued from my foot surgery. I'm about to pop a Vicodin in my mouth. Yes, I am. I'm about to eat a couple of crackers and pop it in because I don't deal with tooth pain very well. You cannot do anything about your mouth. I don't even have tooth pain, but I know that once I finish this excursion to the dentist's office, I'm going to be feeling some kind of way. Anyway, I hope you liked the show today. Let me show you a few more of my hat creations so that you all can see what you have to choose from. I'm very creative. I always did these kinds of things when I was, when Kendi was little. So I have all these little hats. You see this one? I made this. There's one. They're all 35 bucks. I made this one. Valentine's. Aren't they cute? See, this has chocolate sprinkles on the top. And then I did this one. See? If you want to mail a nice love letter. How cute is that, y'all? I'm so creative. I really felt like my calling is to do something fun. See this one? See these? Cute. I don't know if you can see them all around. And this one is a fascinator that I put as a headband because, you know, everybody doesn't like to wear stuff like, send your little one to school like this. Won't she be cute? I know. And then I'm going to show you a couple more. I like sweet treats. So look at these sweet treats. I know, they're great. Hi. See, when Kendi went to school on Valentine's Day, baby, I used to make these for her. I'm putting these on rather quickly. I used to make these for her, and I make them for her teachers. Now I made one for her to wear on Monday that she's gonna wear. And so she's gonna be the cutest at the school. And now that she's got all A's, I'm gonna make a couple for her teacher. How cute is that? Aren't these cute? Now this is already sold. Some of these are already sold. I just wanted you to see what I got going on, y'all. This is what I did over the weekend. This is already sold. DeAndre, this is little Kinsley. How cute is that? This is so cute. It's one of my favorite ones. I put a little extra effort into this one. So, and then I have this one. And these are teeny tiny, like, they're not, like if you're an adult, you can wear one. I know, isn't that cute? Super cute. And this is the last, though. This is cute too. Don't y'all like these? I'm obsessed with sweets. I like candy and I like cupcakes, so I made everything a cupcake theme. And then, and look at this. Don't y'all love that? How cute is that macaron? I know, these are so cute. I don't want to stress this out too much. This is a little teeny tiny. But just look how cute that is. How cute is that? I know. Okay, so if you want to get one, just inbox me. If you know a little one that needs one, if you got daughters, I mean, if you got daughters, you need to have something fancy on her head on Monday. And for you daddies out there, you better be buying. Listen, my daddy used to buy me a corsage and bouquet of flowers for school on Valentine's. My dad was my Valentine. He used to send stuff to me in college when I was at A&M. Always flowers delivered to my dorm door everywhere I was. So your daddy is your first Valentine, all right? Then after that, if you don't have a dad, you better listen. Your daddy is your first Valentine, and you know he's supposed to give you something on Valentine's Day. So you dads out there, you better buy one of these for your little girl for Valentine's Day. If you got $3, you better buy 3 of them. But you know, happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and wish me luck on my dentist appointment. Let me get up out of here. It's supposed to be there 1 o'clock. I'm already having dental anxiety. Golly.
Can we get a thumbnail?
Oh yeah, we gotta do a thumbnail. Yeah, let me do my gram thumbnail. I like Travis Scott. What you call throw Travis Scott some shade? She needs to shut up. What's the girl's name? Billie Eilish. And I like Billie Eilish, but she needs to stay in her lane. The worst thing you can do to somebody is kick them when they're down. But did you hear that? We're gonna do the thumbnail with let me see. I'll do my thumbnail like this. So I have to do my freeze frame for 10 seconds to capture the picture for the thumbnail for social media.
And look at this phone, because this one's for Instagram, and then right before you
first to do the
engage, you
Instagram.
can look at that one.
Okay.
Okay,
So I do this freeze frame so that people can see the. Remember, I don't do my social media.
Okay, you ready?
Sherelle, post for me. Ready? Which one are we doing?
Instagram. So look at this.
Instagram.
Yes. 1, 2.
Oh, wait.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great.
Okay.
And then
Now I'm about to do my Facebook thumbnail.
however you want to end it off, that's how you're gonna end. That's the last frame that shows. Okay.
Oh wait, I gotta have my Jesus pieces showing.
Go ahead and say bye on Instagram.
Bye everybody on Instagram.